Hello and welcome to After Hours, a TV and film podcast brought to you by OTGBasketball.com, where the latest and greatest NBA content in this crazy offseason in a 40-day window. So be sure to go to OTGBasketball.com. And again, this is Remembering the Office. We are rolling on through season by season, episode by episode. We are currently on season 3, episode 7, branch closing. With me on all of these episodes, none other than Jack Manuel. Jack, how's it going?
Cable, are you feeling more like Michael after he burned his foot or Andy after he tore his scrotum? I know you've had some surgery, my guy.
I'm Michael after he burnt his foot. I think I think it's I had hernia surgery, so it's not like major surgery by any means, but it's my first ever surgery, so I don't know what's supposed to be sore, what's supposed to feel like what. Should I be walking? Like, my dad just said, why do you walk like you're 90 years old? I was like, I don't know. He's like, you're a grown, like, he's like, you're in your 20s. You walk normal now. It's like day 5. I was like, oh, okay. So, figuring stuff out. So I think I'm Michael, a little bit of a hypochondriac.
Yeah, I'll ground up some aspirin in your pudding or whatever, like Ryan did for Michael, and you'll be all right, my guy.
Hey, that's all I need, honestly. That'd do me right. So, of course, episode 7, branch closing. A 30-minute episode, right? Yep. So away from our normal, 22 to 24-minute episode to get the extra 6 minutes in this one. But I think this is the start now where
yes.
like 3 just takes off.
Yeah, this is the teaser into what becomes an absolutely epic season. We'll dive into the cold open. We've begun ranking them. Kory, this is a pretty good one. I like it. Out of 10, what are we giving it? So for those playing along at home, what happens is Karen sort of sees Jim faxing at some point, and Jim sort of goes through and he says, I don't have a ton of contact with the Scranton branch, but before I left, I took a box of Dwight's stationery. So from time to time, I sent Dwight faxes. From himself. From the future. Dwight, at 8 a.m. today, someone poisons the coffee. Do not drink the coffee. More instructions will follow. Cordial. Future Dwight. And then Stanley is drinking and he's like, no! You'll thank me later.
It's a fantastic cold open. It's honestly one of the highlights of this episode. Because I don't know, it's just great. Like Dwight running across the room to smack the coffee and you'll thank me later is great. I think this is, a 9. This has got to be for me a 9 out of 10 for the cold opens because it's a good one. Especially this might also be one of the best Jim on Dwight pranks, right? There's a lot of pranks, and this is one of the really good ones and like well thought out. Like, oh yeah, I'm setting Dwight faxes from himself in the future. Like that's a really good prank. So I gave it a 9.
Yeah, I gave it an 8. I was because for it to be like one of the best cold opens, it's 9 to 10 range. And this for me was a good one. I had a giggle. It is quintessential cold open material where it's Dwight and Jim banter. That's when you think of The Office and one of the many elements of this great show, you go, yeah, there's Dwight and Jim banter in the cold open. So this is certainly reminiscent of that.
Maybe I don't know why I'm so high. I think I'm so high in it because I think like it's just very well thought out. I don't know. I just like the idea of it. So cold open, 8 by you, 9 by me. Moving into the actual episode itself, not too much office romance in this, but there are some
episode. Are you kidding me? I have so many notes. Okay, we'll get into it later. What I wanted to do first, Kory, is I think we do the interaction between Michael and Jan at the start of this episode because okay. I think it is absolutely awesome. Do you want to be Michael or do you want to be Jan?
I'll be Michael.
Okay, cool.
There she is, Jane Levinson first. Thing in the morning. Love to start my morning with the. Wait a minute. He's not singing that. I'm trying to sing that. That's not when he sings yet.
We'll go back to the start. Let's go back to the start.
You do Michael. I'm gonna do Jan.
All right, cool. There she is, Jan Levinson. Thirst.
Michael.
Thing in the morning. Love to start my morning with a hearty bowl of Jan.
Michael.
Just call me Levinson in the morning, baby.
Michael.
Yes.
I'm here to tell you that we are closing the Scranton branch.
I don't understand.
The board voted last night to close your branch.
On whom's authority?
The board's.
What?
I'm very sorry. I don't relish telling you this. You've been a big part of this company, and the board asked me to thank you for your years of service.
You're welcome.
A small number of people will be transferred to the Stanford branch, and the rest will be getting severance packages.
Am I a small number person or a severance package person?
Well, we haven't made final decisions about personnel yet, but you're a severance package person.
Oh, oh my God! I don't really get it because we're not doing that bad. Now numbers are gonna come up.
Well, it's not all about numbers, Michael.
Well,
It's about talent.
you gotta be Josh.
Our CFO feels that Josh is going to play an important role in our company's future.
Oh, really? What role is that? King of the stupid universe?
It's really good, Michael. It's really good, Michael. Michael, who I don't think I gave the MVP for like 4 episodes. No spoiler, he's the MVP of this episode. Yeah. He is fantastic throughout.
He's just like, it's the first quarter and he puts up 30. Like, this is the opening scene and he just dominates.
Well, not just the opening scene. Like, this is the strong first 3 quarters, and then the little monologue about the Stanleys. I'm just gonna do it. It is an outrage. That's all. It's, hey, make it a huge mistake. Let's see Josh replace these people. Let's see Josh find another Stanley. You think Stanleys grow on trees? Well, they don't. There is no Stanley tree. Do you think the world is crawling with Phyllis's? Show me the farm with Phyllis's and Kevin sprouting up all over the place, right for the plucking. Show me that farm.
What I like is, as Michael is doing this monologue, in the background we see Phyllis like knitting, Stanley doing fuck all, and Kevin just goofing around as well. I'm just like, yeah, Michael, they're not that good at workers, my guy. If you hadn't said Dwight, then yeah, like Dwight is the best worker in the history of Dunder Mifflin. But you can't pick out these guys. These guys don't give a shit.
No, it's really funny, and this is the way he says, like, "Show me that farm." Like, show me. Yeah, Michael is right off, right from the get-go on fire in this one. And then even picking up Stanley's photo of his daughter, which, you know, in the past he said, "Wow, like she's hot. That's your girl." He's like, "That's my daughter." So, you know, again, funny. And then the next funny moment I had was the Dwight.
Oh, so good. It's one of the best things of the episode.
Yeah. You know, when you become close with someone, you develop a kind of sixth sense. You can read their moods like a book. And right now, the title of Michael's book is Something's Weird is Going On, What Did Jan Say? The Michael Scott Story by Michael Scott with Dwight Schrute.
You missed, like, the gaps. He's just like, he sort of paused and he's like, The Michael Scott Story by Michael Scott with Dwight Schrute. Like, he just sort of like comes up with it as he's going along. It reminds me of Michael when he meets with the CFO, David Wallace, who is the daddy, I've called you Stat Daddy before, Kory, but David Wallace seems to be the daddy of the office. And he meets with him and he's like, you know, sometimes I have no idea what I'm saying. I just let a sentence go and I just sort of roll with it. That's sort of like Dwight in this scene here. He's just like, what did Jan say? Like, he says colon as well. Yeah. Like, you don't say the punctuation, my dude.
I'm going to start saying that sentences. Yeah, you know, just a comma and then go on to the rest of my sentence. Yeah, it's good Dwight Schrute. It's not like funny, but I do find it comical that Andy is like it's in your face at the gym about the branch closing, you know, and it's not the best of Andy, but this is a little bit, yeah.
He has an enjoyable moment that I will recreate it in a little bit. Another line that I really liked was Pam and Michael. Are you okay? Yeah, great, amazing, best physical condition of my life. Best physical condition of my life. Great line.
I'm actually going to start using that one. That's like a really good one.
It's a good one. I feel like it's one of maybe the most underrated lines like we've had in the episodes we've said so far. Like, best physical, because like you might be just so horribly mentally depressed and your life is shit. But Michael's Jack, so it's his best physical condition of his life.
I'm telling you, next bad day I have, and someone asks me, how are you doing? I'm going to say, best physical condition of my life. You know?
It's a good one, because, like, I actually like that mindset as well. You know, like, as a teacher, I always talk about, you know, glass half full, growth mindset. Look at the positives, perspective. Best physical condition of my life. Michael's looking at that. You know, he's looking good. Yeah. We've obviously talked about since season 1. He's grown. His hair's looking slick. He's got the hair plugs going. He's getting more jacked. The tan's looking all right. Best physical condition of his life, as he says.
It really is. So that's now in my repertoire. Get ready, world. And then of course, Michael spilling the beans to the office is absolutely hilarious. Because we doesn't he just have I don't think it's in the script, but doesn't he have a monologue where he says, you have to like keep a calm, cool, collected face right now?
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. But we get the iconic GIF, and it feels like we get one of those GIF. I say GIF in this episode. The one where this is the worst. This is the worst.
It's
Give me
fantastic.
give me your this is the worst face, Kory. It's so no, it can't be recreated. He's just
No.
he's an icon. He's an absolute genius, Steve Carell.
And again, I don't know why, like in the script I have in front of me, it doesn't have like the mini scene with Michael before that scene with everyone, because literally Michael says, all I could do is put on a brave face, and he goes, "Listen up, everybody! I have some news. We are screwed." It just flows so perfectly between both scenes, of course, and then Toby knowing before and Mike. Like this is also, I feel like, the real beginning of the Toby and Michael hate. Like there is hate, but I feel like we're gonna start seeing more and more after this point too.
Yeah, I think the why are you the way that you are was the start. We get a little bit more here, and it's and again the Toby Michael interaction here leads to another iconic GIF. Like why are you the way that you are? Another iconic GIF / meme / reaction, and this is the worst one. Maybe one of the great facial emotional expressions in the history of comedic television. It's so freaking good.
It really is. It's perfect. It's honestly perfect. Uh, it's in the top 5, I think, for all time memes and gifs from this show.
Oh man, that's saying something as well. That's saying something.
It really is. And then of course, I think funny moments would be every single person's reaction.
Ryan's especially for me. Who's your favorite out of Ryan, Angela, and Kelly here?
I think it's Kelly. For me, it's Kelly. I think Kelly's just funny because she's, crying. If I get to stay and Ryan is laid off, I will kill myself like Romeo and Juliet, the Claire Danes ones. It's just so good to me.
It's a good movie. The Claire Danes one, I think that's the one that has Leo in it as well. We're all Leo fans.
It's the one that's like over dramatized.
Yeah, Baz Luhrmann. It's very stylized. Good movie. I think I watched it in for year 10 English once when we were comparing film and we were comparing the Shakespearean one. But that leads to one of the enjoyable Andy moments. Stanford, Connecticut. Stanford, Connecticut.
I find him. He's solid in that moment. That's a solid moment.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite of these people? In terms of them saying, what their reaction is to the branch closing.
Mine is Ryan's. It makes perfect sense that it would happen today because I just received these in the mail. 1,000 business cards with this address and phone number. Oh, it's such a fail. It's such a fail.
Especially because he just went all in.
Yeah.
3 episodes ago, he just started going all in, and he's gone through all of this, and now it's like, yep, well, company closing.
Yep.
Or branch closing, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, all of these are solid. And then, of course, a little bit of office romance, of course, is Kelly's reaction to, the thought of Ryan being laid off. And then you have Roy being concerned about Pam and not really wanting to work there if she's not there.
There's Pam and Roy. There's Angela and Roy. There's Karen and Jim. There's Ryan, just his savagery of Kelly. Kelly obviously in love. Pam and Jim. Jim and Karen. You said there isn't a lot of romance in this episode. There are so many. I just listed 5 or 6.
You listed every couple in the show, and
basically, they're not even couples. Like Pam's asking about Jim. Roy's asking about Pam. Karen's asking Jim. Jim's Karen, and then Jim's like worried about Pam. There's just too many relationships. It feels.
Not to mention, there's also we didn't even say it, but the Michael and Jan. I know I hurt you. I know I hurt you. Don't do this to me. Don't. I know I hurt you. I know. Like that to me is funny. I just had one on the top of my tongue, but I just missed it. What are some other funny moments for you, though?
What have we got here? I've got the one where Dwight and Michael sort of just like, all right, we're going to New York. We're going to confront the CFO. And then Dwight's like, can I drive? No way. Shotgun. No, there's no one else. Still, it's just like he's a lot. I feel like I'm resonating more and more with Dwight as this show goes along. Like he's just got enthusiasm for dumb things, for little things. He's like so excited to be able to hang out with Michael and develop that bond and friendship, which we do hear him recount at the later point of this episode as well. And we always say that Dwight and Michael, whenever they're together, it's gold. It's literally gold.
No, it really is. Right before that too, though. Has to be mentioned that Meredith has a pact to have sex with somebody whenever the branch closes, and she originally goes to Michael, and it wasn't Michael, and Michael, today's the worst.
In that, there's a trivia point that I had. When Meredith answers the phone after Creed says how much he made from selling company computers, she clearly says Derameth Palmer. So I'm not sure whether that was just a slip at the tongue there, but found that in a little bit of my trivia, which was an interesting one. Yeah, and a very, very interesting one.
And Creed makes $1,200 from office supplies stuff. Spoiler alert for this episode.
Yes, he makes $1,200 now. Creed takes pictures, and good little lead-in point, Kory segue. Creed takes pictures of the office property on his desk and advertises the items online. He makes several deals throughout the day, ultimately earns $1,200 selling the property, but is now obviously scheduled to remain open, spoiler alert. Giving proper context to Kevin's line, which remained in the aired version, that Creed would be paying for the post-work celebration at Paul Richards. And I showed you an image yesterday at some point, or this morning your time, an image that I saw on Facebook, on one of the Facebook pages for The Office, that he even sells the Dustbuster of all things.
I wonder what happens when they stay open now, right? Like, how did they replace all that stuff? Like, what's the lie? Did someone break in? Little nitpick of like what happened afterwards. Creed, again, a man of many talents, and had no problem selling everything, including the Dustbuster.
Hustling, man. He's hustling.
The next funny moment I had down was Kelly having people sign her yearbook. In particular, Pam. And Pam just writes, like Kelly's disgusted by how Pam signs it. Yeah. That's it. What a weird and wild journey it's been. And her like psycho laugh. Like, I was like, man, Kelly's nuts.
She's very emotional right now. Let's give our girl some credit. She has a great episode. She's in the heat check for sure.
100%. And then of course when Michael and Dwight get to David Wallace's house, there's a lot of funny scenes, obviously.
Should we do the recreation of when he's like, all right, we've got to sort of recreate when David Wallace shows up and Dwight's pretending to be David Wallace and Michael.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, let's do that. I'll be Michael, you be Dwight.
All right, cool. So do you know what you're going to say when he shows up?
I will improvise. I will speak from the heart.
Bad idea. You need an attack plan. Here, I'll be him. You'll be you. Let's practice.
All right.
Dum-de-dum-dum, coming home from work.
Excuse me, Mr. Wallace. David Wallace.
Yes, what is the meaning of this?
Can you tell us why you are shutting down the screen and putting 15 people out of work?
Oh, the branch is no longer financially viable. It's simple dollars and cents.
Yes, but these are employees, sir. These are human beings.
Scott, we're losing money, okay? It's not a charity. It's a business, and it's a dying business.
Stop it. Just okay. He's not going to say any of that.
Well, hey, why not?
Because he'd be intimidated. And let's start again. Just be more scared of me, okay?
Okay.
Don't touch me this time.
Dum-de-dum-dum-dum. Coming home from work.
Excuse me, Mr. Wallace?
Ah!
his scared face is great. It's really funny.
Michael's asking him, be more scared of me. And then right at the start, I feel like you're not supposed to be actually physically frightened of him. It's just intimidated. Michael's trying to be like, oh, I'm the boss man, and he's just like, It's very good little moment, that one.
It really was. And then of course, the next funny. I don't think it's funny, but it is worth noting. How Jim said Michael Scott would never do what Josh does, and of course Josh leveraged his job with Dunder Mifflin for Staples to get a big salary. Don't necessarily blame him, but obviously tough blow for Dunder Mifflin, the small market team.
Yeah, it seems like Staples is like the Lakers and New Orleans Pelicans are Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah, they just lost out on their two-time All-Star.
Anthony Davis he's heading to the Lakers and he's gonna be winning chips and selling paper left, right, and center.
Tough biz.
Tough look.
Now, of course, I do think it's funny that Creed is selling everything. And when Jan comes to the office after everything falls apart and Phyllis is knitting, Stanley's doing whatever, and she realizes, what's going on, and Pam discloses, I just like the entire scene. Like, all right, everybody, there's probably a better way to do this, but I've been driving all day and I really just don't care. And she's like, you guys are staying open. Stanford's going to come here. And again, this is like a huge turning point in the show, this episode.
It really is. I really like the moment where like Phyllis is trying to organize like a group lunch for everyone. Do you want to recreate that scene at all? Because it's like Kevin, Phyllis, and Angela.
Yeah, I got it right here.
All right. Do you want to? Who you got? You got two characters. All right. I'll go Kevin and I'll go Phyllis and Angela. You go Kevin. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm trying to organize a little group lunch for everybody since, we're never going to see each other again.
Where are we going?
I thought maybe DJs.
How about
Cugino.
Cuginos.
I don't want to go all the way to Dunmore.
How about Cooper's then?
No, seafood.
But I don't want to go to DJ's.
Oh, now all of a sudden you get picky? Okay, forget it.
Hooters.
No. Just the Hooters.
Had to throw something somewhat sexual in there. That's got to be Kevin.
Of course. And then literally right after that, when Dwight and Michael are sort of just like, all right, here, replenish your fluids. And then Michael is COVID safe. Very COVID safe. Wipes it with his tie. And looks like he has his favorite flavor as well. It looks like he has some Blue Blast.
Personal favorite Gatorade flavor for you. What is it?
I'm sure we discussed this on the Fire episode. But to re-bring it back, I like orange. I'm a big fan of the apple. I do enjoy grape as well.
Grape's an interesting one. I haven't gotten behind grape. I'm basic. Glacier Blue, Cool Rush, doesn't matter. Blast. And then Blue Blast, and then Fruit Punch, the traditional. All right. Any other funny moments for you?
I thought it was not necessarily funny, but it was kind of cute. Them reminiscing, Michael and Dwight, and he's like, they're looking in the car with the binoculars. And he's like, what if this doesn't work? What if the office actually goes under? And then Dwight, when it was an honor to have worked with you. And then Michael's like, all right, favorite moments in Dunder Mifflin history. Go. And my first day when you hazed me by spraying me with the fire extinguisher. How's it your favorite day, man? Like, that's not great.
And that's the haze. Pretty good haze, because, it's not like it's a lethal one. But, it also, the timeline seems really short.
Yeah.
From when... Dwight's first day is, because then like the next one, was the beginning of the show. I can't remember the exact moment that he mentioned.
He's like my first sale, my promotion to assistant regional manager.
Yeah, exactly. So it felt like a short timeline.
Our basketball game, when you took me to the hospital and told me that you care about me. Oh, right. Okay. That's enough. That's good. Michael doesn't want to. But my God, you're reminiscing. You're getting nostalgic. It's going to get a bit emotional in here, especially from a guy like Dwight who has so much passion for the branch. Like, come on, man.
It's kind of funny how Michael hates the affection towards Dwight. He doesn't want any affection from Dwight, but he wants it from everybody else. Which kind of leads like the last, not huge funny scene, but when they find out that the branch isn't closing, and kind of how Michael's laying on the ground, oh, this was a stupid idea, so stupid, I'm such a stupid idiot, I let everybody down, everybody hates me, close everybody's jobs, nobody likes me anymore. And then of course how Dwight reacts, and then they celebrate and they're like, we did it. How did we do it? I have no idea. I don't understand.
I've got a couple of trivia points relating to, I guess, David Wallace's house and the location. So the dog in the backyard at David Wallace's house was actually supposed to be somewhat menacing, like a pit bull or something. But the dog they hired was so friendly, it failed to convey any sense of danger. You see it when Dwight's looking through the trash. And
great scene. We didn't mention that scene, but that's also a hilarious scene. Like, how do you think you got this house? Maybe. I don't know. It's a good scene.
It is very, very good. Scenes at David Wallace's house were shot in Pasadena. In the later episode, Cocktails, which is coming up pretty soon, and a very good episode, it's actually shot at a different house. Also, the welcome mat at David Wallace's house says H instead of W. The H welcome mat belongs to the real-life owners of the house. The set decorators forgot to change it, and the mistake wasn't noticed until editing. As Michael and Dwight drive to David Wallace's house, you can see the car thermometer showing that is 80 degrees outside Fahrenheit for any Australian listeners right now. The episode is set in Connecticut in November, but obviously the show is filmed in California and it was filmed in August. So there's a bit of a discrepancy there.
That's so funny.
Rain, one of our favorite moments where Rain is like pretending to be David Wallace. Is like, Rain Wilson's startled response as Dwight pretended to be David Wallace was so funny they had to cut the scene immediately to avoid capturing everyone laughing. You do notice that it's cut like immediately after he says, like there's no like reaction from Michael back and forth. It's like an immediate cut and change scene. And I can imagine I would have, if I was on that set, I would have pissed myself laughing as well.
I laughed when I saw that scene over. It's a good scene because it's just such a just so I love it.
It's epic, absolutely sensational. So those are the points I wanted to bring from trivia around sort of David Wallace's house and the location and such.
Are there any other funny moments you had, or are we into trivia?
I think all I got some trivia, man. Obviously, we hear Michael Scott's ringtone, "My Humps," an absolute classic by the Black Eyed Peas. Obviously, most people would know that. At 6 minutes and 21 on the office board is a note for Tuesday the 5th. It says, "Congratulations to all for our first of many Emmys." And then below that, it says that Steve was robbed. So clearly, for season 2/season 3, The Office won some Emmys for the best comedy or whatever. But Steve Carell famously has been denied on many occasions. When we were discussing the Coopers and the final meetup, when the final get-together for the employees is being planned, the restaurants mentioned are all fictional except for Cooper's. Cooper's was voted the area's best seafood restaurant and was also visited by Brian Baumgartner, Kevin, and Angela Kinsey, Angela, in 2006. So nice little point there. I'd like to check it out. Are you a seafood fan, Kory?
Unfortunately, I'm not. I haven't really gotten into it. I've tried some, but I'm a wuss.
Yeah, I'd get involved. I'm a big seafood guy. I think it's probably more common here in Australia where we're hot weather. We've got good fresh fish and fresh seafood down here. After the characters learn that the Scranton branch is closing, their talking head interviews take place against the outside window. After they learn that the Scranton branch is not closing after all, their talking heads face back into the office. So that's a little bit of a tidbit for those playing along at home if you're rewatching the episode. In the office, the accountants, it's revealed that Angela has a crush on Roy. We obviously see this unsubtly hinted at throughout the episode towards the end. Kevin sort of giving like a smile when Angela's like, you're a strong man, Roy. You'll land on your feet. And Kevin's just like, my dude, you're thirsty as hell right now. And it's very blatant. Have you ever been like that obviously thirsty as like Angela is?
Have I ever been?
Like in person, like with another person looking at you, like, in the DMs or whatever, or with your actual girlfriend, but like with a random girl or
I mean, I'm sure there's been a drunk night or two somewhere where I've probably done that to some extent, but the alcohol involved, I don't know if it's the same because I feel like that's a little bit different. We're at a bar, like I think it's slightly different, but I not in like a work setting. I can say that I've definitely never done it in a work setting.
Yeah, Angela, shoot your shot. We always respect women and men that shoot their shot. We're all about it here.
Yeah, slide in my DMs. Go ahead, anybody.
Big time at K-Wall Hoops. Toby does eventually retire to Costa Rica in the episode Goodbye Toby. He says in his little like monologue what he's going to do once the branch is closed. Unfortunately for Toby, we obviously know that retirement is only temporary. My final trivia point is Josh Porter, the actor Charles Eston, suggested that Andy's scene in the break room be extended by having his character walk in and say goodbye, and that Andy would be too cowardly to do anything but wish Josh all the best. So when Josh walks in and Andy's like sort of like what am I gonna do? That sort of scene suggestion and sort of just being like, hey man, it's all the best. That was all the idea of Josh Porter, aka Charles Eston.
That's actually, I mean, that's good trivia once again. And now it's just, I always like knowing stuff about scenes like that, like how they come together. Because again, a lot of these, actors have a say and they come up on the screen, which is always very cool. Any stuff in the office romance we should touch on? Obviously, Roy being worried about Pam, the Kelly and Ryan stuff. I do think that honestly, it's cute, but when Kelly says, we don't have to break up now, Ryan, and Ryan's smiling, she's just like, I don't know.
He can't, like, what's your read on that? Because it feels like he kind of is happy.
He's into it,
and he's finally admitting it.
He's and he likes the attention. I think he likes the attention, of course, a lot.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So Ryan's the guy who, like, I feel like doesn't want to be in a relationship, maybe because like he's in that time of his life, but at the same time he likes the idea. And then of course Jim, he told Karen to come.
To do the Michael face.
What? I mean, again. I respect it because in his mind, it's over, it's done. I'm gonna go back to this workplace. I do have some sort of interest in this girl, and obviously Karen, pretty cute reaction. She's like, I don't know if he's into me, but I'm into him, and it's just like, ooh, goddamn, Karen, this ain't gonna go the way you want it to.
Well, it does initially. Theirs is a rocky relationship, and we talked about, like, last episode, the cute flirting and stuff, taking him home. But this is the turning point for the relationship, turning much more romantic for Jim and Karen.
For sure. And that's all I have for the office romance stuff. I know, of course, Roy being happy for Pam staying. And also, Roy not knowing that Pam was in art classes. So Pam really just doing her life and him, out of the loop. And we find, the last couple episodes, it's been rough for Roy, right? Goes to the Diwali, sees her dance and leaves. In this episode, he's, up and down. Like, Roy's really going through it. He's trying, though, to get back his sweetie.
It's weird because, like, for a person that you truly love, you want them to thrive. But there's always, like, when it comes to douchey partners, whether it's boyfriends or girlfriends, there's always, like, those people want them to be, like, they need me to be better. Whereas Pam is completely fine without Roy. Whether she's single, whether she's whatever she's doing, her life's going to be fine without Roy. Roy needs Pam much more than Pam needs Roy. We know that.
100%. That's a great way to put it. So now we are on to the MVP and heat check of the episode. MVP, clear cut. It is Michael Scott. Welcome back to the Winner Circle. And the heat check performer, a little bit tougher.
Well, does Dwight count as a heat check?
I almost feel like he shouldn't because he's won so many MVPs now.
Yeah, let's discount it because, like, just for the alone, he could almost win MVP with that moment.
I would give him heat check because if it's not him, I think the only other person I could put on would be probably Kelly.
Yeah, I would agree. I like Kelly a lot in this episode. Let's give it to Kelly. Dwight's got his MVPs. He doesn't need, like, a most improved player or whatever as well. Let's give it to Kelly.
Kelly, you're in the Winner Circle for heat check. I mean, we go for, like, performance of the episode too. Performance of the episode is Dwight. It may not be the best, but it's the performance of the episode because it's a wide magnitude from the cold open, from the David Wallace's house, from the office. The scene of I got a sixth sense. What's going colon. It's just great. It's a great performance. And the episode ranking time.
So IMDb had this at an 8.6 out of 10. I was slightly lower on it. I go in the 0.25. So I have to be specific in a show that has such brilliance. I gave it an 8.25 out of 10.
Okay, and I'm in the middle of both of you, and I'm at an 8.5. I thought this was back on track with the past episode. Maybe not like as many haha moments, but there's still plenty of funny moments and good scenes in this episode.
Yep, for sure. We've probably got, to be honest, some nines coming up.
We really do. So Jack, final thoughts, and where can the people find you?
OTGbasketball.com, Kory. There's a lot of trade stuff happening in terms of if you want any NBA news, draft stuff. OTG Basketball on YouTube. If you're watching us right now on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. Smash the notifications. Comment for us down below if there's anything you missed. What was your ranking or rating of this episode? Did we miss anything? Any moments that you like? Comment down below for us. We make sure you're doing that. We love all the feedback we get from you guys. And the outlet's doing gangbusters with trade stuff and free agency stuff. JVT's back, and we're going to be doing some fun stuff. We're maintaining the fun topics here and there because some people it's like the Remembering the Office podcast. It's not all basketball at OTG Basketball on YouTube. We want to give people all the right array of content that they can get. At the JMN JBT as well, Brooklyn Buzzers. We just dropped the draft episode, and we did an off-season free agency episode. 2 bumper episodes for you there. Make sure you're listening to those. I don't know what else I can say. At the JMN JBT.
Ton of content. Jack listed it all. I don't need to say it again. Ton of content. OTGbasketball.com. Go to YouTube. All major streaming platforms you can find. After Hours, Brooklyn Buzz, The Outlet, all of them. All major streaming platforms, YouTube. Until next. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at KWalHoops, KWAL Hoops. And until next time, peace out, knuckleheads.